Welcome back to MTFC TV. Joining me this time is manager Dave Frecklington. Dave, a really hard fought 3 points today. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. Thought first half we totally dominated the half. Everything that I want in a football team was on show for the first 45, 46 minutes. Really solid, aggressive, put balls in good areas. Thought the front two were a threat, caused them all sorts of issues. Got the ball down and played in the final third, but every time the ball got turned over, defensively we looked really solid. So as a unit, I couldn't have been any happier going into half time and 1-0. The only disappointment was not scoring 2 and 3. Second half, fair play to Stalybridge. Man down. Always going to be a tough ask when you don't do the basics right against 10 men, and they got the equaliser, deservedly so. And I probably think if you get to 90 minutes, I'd have probably took a point, but you can never write this team off. We're on a 10-game unbeaten run now. The subs have come off the bench and been excellent. Asked Jamie to go and be a hero. Sean Harrod's come on and had a massive threat in it, and then Jake Greening gets the third goal. So in the end, delighted 3 points.
The old adage always goes that it's more difficult sometimes to play against 10 men than it is 11. Do you feel there was perhaps concentration went amiss at the start of that second half?
I thought we were poor. I'll be honest with you. I thought the basics we couldn't get to grips with for some reason, whatever that was. Everything that me and Terry and Chris had warned them against second half, we didn't go and do. We didn't implement it very well. But then you've got to give credit to Stalybridge. They put 3 up there and went really direct, squeezed us up the pitch. The 8 picked up all the bits in midfield. Our main threats were ineffective, and sometimes against 10 men, for whatever reason, mentally you just can't get to grips with it. Well, that's credit to them. They had a right go. They didn't cave in. They gave us a really hard task. But we scored another 3 goals today. That character that you want in a team's there in an abundance, and that came to the fore the last 5 minutes of the game.
Sometimes, we've talked very briefly about substitutions. They can be really crucial in football. You've changed things at 1-1. I think a lot of fans were thinking, we've let it slip here. Second half performance weren't good enough. But you've brought Green and Jackson on. They've got themselves goals, and Sean Harrod with an assist. You must be really pleased with how your changes and how the lads' changes changed things and got us the win.
Yeah, it's easy to take credit, but that's what I'm paid to do. I'm paid to see things that go on a football pitch. Marshy was excellent today for his first start. I thought he was a massive threat. I thought Luke up there alongside him, as a pair, were brilliant. Remember, we've got a top goal scorer out today in Craig Westcar, who's been phenomenal since we took over. But Marshy stepped up and got his goal. He was a threat. And I just felt that, we had to look after Marshy the last 10 minutes of the game. We didn't want him pulling up as well with a 2-week break. So when you got the likes of Sean Harrod, Jamie Jackson, Greeny on the bench, it's nice to turn around and say, look, go and make an effort, go and prove a point. And lucky enough they went and did that, which was brilliant.
I think it's fair to say we could have a look, not just at today, but the season overall since you guys have come in. Stalybridge is a bit of a marker because under your stewardship, yours, Chris and Terry's, you played them before. They beat us 3-1 up there, we beat them 3-1 down here. Now, going into this break, 10 unbeaten. Let's just put that out there. 10 unbeaten. The last time Matlock went 10 unbeaten was 06-07. It's a massive achievement. It's something you guys must be really proud of.
Yeah, our main aim first and foremost is to keep the club in the league. Our recruitment, I feel, at the moment is proving worthwhile. But it's down to a lot of the lads that have been here from when we inherited. They've just stepped up to the plate. They've bought into what we want to do. But it's down to work rate and endeavour. It's easy to say, right, we want you to do this and don't want you to do that. But the players have to take the credit because they're the ones going out there every week and performing. So really, really pleased with that. Going back to the reverse fixture, I was disappointed in what we were labelled at Stalybridge. Anti-football. Weren't the best team to play against, so there was hard to judge. But there's only one team that's really progressed since that fixture, and that's us. So it's important that to get a 3-1 victory was even more pleasing because it was the opposition. So in football you have to be careful what you say because you always got a good chance to rectify.
To talk really briefly about Craig King, I heard some fans in the stand say that he perhaps didn't have his best game today, but I think some people will overlook the fact he did grab an assist in the first half. It must be nice, though, for Kingy, one of your players who really does have the X factor going forward. He's become a massive part of the team. That the lads do group up and there's always somebody wanting to step up and be the main man.
If it weren't for Craig King, we wouldn't be in this position that we are now, would we? Let's be right about it. He's assists, his goals. He gives teams, massive problems from the off, and teams double up on him. For me, he's one of the best players in the league. But it's nice when Craig King does have an off half. I'm not going to say that an off game, he's have an off half. That other players come and step up and take the claim, and that's what we need. We need a squad. We can't just rely on Craig King every week, like we have done over the past 5 or 6 weeks. So I wouldn't say Craig had a poor game. I think first half he was the main threat. Let's be right about it. For 90 minutes, it's hard to be that main threat week in, week out, and they got to grips with Craig. And like I said, Jamie's gone and took the headlines, as Greeny, and took the pressure off Craig. Really, and got 3 points.
Talk briefly as well about Taron Hay. He's come off. He's got quite a nasty knock to his head. Do you have the latest on him? How's he faring?
It's a tennis ball, the size of a tennis ball on his head. But again, that's what you need. Putting bodies on the line. Taz is always 100% week in, week out. That's why we could play Taz centre mid, right side, right back, centre half. Those players that are adaptable in any position, and he's not afraid to go and get himself hurt. And unfortunately, he has done today. He's going to be very sore over the next couple of days, and to get the wins even more pleasing, because the likes of Taz, the shift he put in today, deserved the 3 points. So
2 weeks now, no games coming up. What's your thinking? What's your plans? Do you have the lads in for training? Do you give them a little bit of rest? What's next for Matlock Town?
I think it's something that we need to discuss as a management team, because we've had a lot of games. Some players need more minutes as a reserve game Tuesday, so the lads that do need minutes can get 90 minutes on Tuesday for the reserves. The lads that have played a lot of minutes will get good rest. We've still got 1 or 2 injuries, so hopefully by the time South Shield game comes up in a couple of weeks' time, we'll have majority of the squad fully fit. And unfortunately, we've got to make big decisions. We can't carry 20, 22 players. Lee Beaver's only a couple of weeks away. Tom Davies probably the same. Harry Vince the same. So, we've got some big decisions to make. And it's going to be very hard, but we can't carry 22 players like I stated earlier. We want a squad of 18. So we'll take stock. We'll speak to Mugger. We'll have a couple of meetings, and then take it from there.
Right. Thank you very much, Dave Frecklington.
Thank you.